Thank you.
Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program, Capital Beat. Nagpur remains tense with a curfew imposed after protests against Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb's tomb triggered violence in the Maharashtra city. Now, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has claimed that the violence was premeditated, attributing it to the heightened emotions to the release of the movie Chhavaa, which depicted the brutal atrocities committed by Aurangzeb against Sambhaji Maharaj. So the big question arising out of this story, because we saw violent clashes happening in Nagpur, and today also a lot of arrests have been made, and the city remains tense. So is Maharashtra becoming the next Hindutva laboratory? Who gains from this controversy around Aurangzeb? Because we don't have elections around the corner, except for Bihar elections, which are scheduled sometimes in October and November. So why is Aurangzeb made into a controversy? And who benefits out of it? That is the biggest question. Joining me now is Jaideep Hardikar, who is an independent journalist, joins us from Nagpur. Thank you so much, Jaideep, for joining. We have Vivek Deshpande, independent journalist, and who's been with us for a long while, commenting on issues on Maharashtra and also on the national issues. Thank you so much, Vivek, for joining. And I think Pushparaj has joined, and if you can admit him too. Pushparaj Deshpande also joins us. He's the author of the book called Bharat Jodo Yatra. I can see his message. He's just joined in. So you can admit, let's see if he's joined, and please admit Pushparaj Deshpande. Yes, he's there. So Pushparaj is the author of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, and he also works closely with the India Alliance. Thank you so much, Pushparaj, for joining. And let me begin today's conversation with Jaideep Hardikar. Jaideep, why this controversy around Aurangzeb? And how do you think BJP can really reap the political benefits because of this? Because this entire controversy is over the removal of Aurangzeb's tomb. Now, how would you really see this controversy?
Well, I think if you look at the last 10-15 days post the release of Chhavaa, there has been kind of a whipping up of the sentiment, uh, along the communal lines. Unfortunately for the ruling regime in Maharashtra, because it's a three-party alliance which has its internal contradictions as well along the caste lines. I think the intended benefit of Chhavaa was really to kind of polarize. I mean, the political establishment in Maharashtra was trying to, in a way, convert that into a Hindu-Muslim kind of an issue. So if you look at the statements by the cabinet ministers, in Maharashtra, you can see that. Unfortunately for the BJP, it did not go along that lines. It kind of also veered towards more caste-oriented, line. The debate became the Brahmin versus Maratha kind of a thing, and then there was a controversy with regard to a so-called journalist who basically whipped up something on a phone call, and that kind of precipitated the controversy. So on the face of it, I think the government also, the BJP kind of establishment also wanted a distraction from it. So it begins with Nitesh Rane's sustained campaign over the last 8-9 days. He's a cabinet minister. He won't speak unless there's a backing of the entire establishment. So he went on a rampage in a sort, something that kind of tried to wean that kind of distract from that controversy that was triggered by Prashant Koratkar and other people. And so it was to bring back the focus on the Hindu-Muslim, kind of divide, which is unfortunately for Maharashtra, because, and that too in a city like Nagpur, we've never seen that. We've never had any major riots. I don't remember historically speaking, 1920s was the time when we really had some kind of animosity between the two communities. But historically, Nagpur has always been in that sense a very peaceful town, given its nature, the social composition, and the very making of the city, very cosmopolitan. So I think the on the face of it, it looks like the BJP desperately wanted a communal angle to be flared up to wean the people away from the caste binary or the caste framing of the issue. That I think is the very superficial thing. But I think there is something deep that one can expect over the next months or so, because as you said, there is no election, but there is an impending local body election. Mumbai remains critical. This also puts the Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena in some sort of a dock, because the binary of Brahmin versus Maratha helps the Uddhav Thackeray faction. The Hindu Muslim binary doesn't really, it puts them on the tricky wicket. So I think this communal flare up, uh, kind of keep it warm kind of a strategy, will probably unfold over the next few months until the local body elections take place. Bombay remains the cream. They would want Bombay to be in their pocket, come what may. So I think there is a political side to it, but also I think the BJP is also trying to kind of uh, 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 undo the damage that the Brahmin versus Maratha debate took, kind of was shaping up, uh, to kind of dent its very new and nascent Maratha electorate, which it kind of in a way, and you saw in the last 3 4 years, or rather from 2016 onwards, Maratha populations are kind of restless, and the reasons are varied across the state, from right from the agrarian distress to many other factors. So I think the BJP remains in a fix on the issue of on the framing of this issue on the caste lines. It is very
Right.
comfortable when the framing of the issue is along the communal lines.
Right, but you said that BJP is in a fix to frame this issue. Let me come to Vivek Deshpande. Vivek, what is the quandary which BJP is facing? I mean, does it not know how to frame this issue, or they feel that they are trying to play with fire deliberately, because talking about removal of Aurangzeb's tomb could really become very very nasty. So, has it already taken a nasty turn with the kind of emotions which have been whipped up around Aurangzeb? You'll have to unmute. Vivek, you're muted. Yeah.
Yeah, Nilu, absolutely. This has the underpinning of the caste angle also, as Jaideep has pointed out. It has always, I mean, the whole Hindutva movement always had a caste underpinning, in the sense that when the Hindutva movement started from Nagpur in 1925, the background was the kind of social movements that were happening across the country in terms of caste. The oppressed classes were trying to come up and were trying to resist the century-old slavery that the Brahminical order had condemned them to. So with that as background, the RSS was set up, the Hindu Mahasabha came up, and their whole intention was to suppress, kind of put that behind on the back burner, and they wanted to create a common enemy for all the caste, which they created in the form of Muslims, and they tried to divert the attention of the oppressed classes from their fight against Brahminical order, and just make Muslims the common enemy for all the Hindus, and unite Hindus with that in everybody's mind. So that was the whole Hindutva project about when it started in 1925. It continues to be a fight for re-establishment of the Brahminical order, and with the intention to kind of fend off the fight against the Brahminical order by the oppressed classes. And for that, they needed a common enemy, which they made out of Muslims. And that is how the project has been going ahead ever since the last 100 years. In Maharashtra, as Jaideep has rightly pointed out, there was this tussle going on between Brahmins and Marathas. So this caste war has been flaring up. And when the issue of Shivaji comes up, then this binary gets very sharp, because there are two strands in Maharashtra as far as Shivaji's ideology, Shivaji's philosophy is concerned. One strand is represented by the Brahminical order, which say that he was a Go Brahman Pratipalak. They give him that title, saying that he was the protector of the Brahmins and the cows. So they interpret Shivaji in terms of Brahminical thoughts, and there is this Maratha strand which completely rejects that. So this binary has come up also in terms of Shivaji, as it has come up in terms of reservation and other issues. So the BJP badly wanted to cover this up with something. And Chhavaa, I don't know whether it was timed specifically with that intention, but Chhavaa came very handy for the BJP, and they made full use of it. And they raked up this issue of Aurangzeb's tomb, which was about 300 years ago, and it has absolutely no relevance in today's politics in Maharashtra, in today's social life. People of Maharashtra do not have anything to do with Aurangzeb's tomb, but the BJP wanted to whip up frenzy using that as issue to suppress not only the internal contradictions between the alliance partners, but as Jaideep has rightly pointed out, the Brahmin versus Maratha, the caste war, but also to take their own Hindutva project forward. Like, there are many aspects to it. For example, in Nagpur, there is this tussle between Devendra Fadnavis and Gadkari. Now, if you look at the reactions of or the appeals which have come out from Gadkari and Fadnavis, there is a very distinct difference between the two. Gadkari, who has never used the Hindu-Muslim binary in his politics. On the contrary, he has taken a very reconciliatory approach to this whole issue. He has appealed for maintaining the tradition of communal harmony in Nagpur. Whereas Devendra Fadnavis appeal says anyone who is creating trouble will be punished hard. So there are two different approaches to this issue. So and East Nagpur being Gadkari's fortress, he gets the maximum
No,
number
but
of
this
votes from there.
example which you are giving, this comparison which you made between Gadkari and Fadnavis, which means that there is more to this story apart from the caste
I'm just
and
I'm just
communal
taking it for
polarization.
you.
No,
You
but
see,
does it point to an internal strife within BJP as well, Vivek?
yeah, so there are many angles to it. One of the angles I'm explaining. See, Gadkari gets maximum votes from East Nagpur, where all this trouble has happened, right? And Gadkari's attempt is to douse the fire. Whereas Devendra Fadnavis has been raking up this Aurangzeb issue almost on par with Nitish Rane. I mean, despite being chief minister, the language in which Fadnavis is speaking is very rabble rousing. And Gadkari is taking a reconciliatory approach because East Nagpur is his fortress, and East Nagpur has the maximum population of Muslims. And Gadkari has always been very friendly with the Muslims, at least outwardly. I mean, I don't know within himself what is his view of Muslims, because he has been an RSS member for all his life. So, RSS and Muslim hatred, they go together hand in hand. But Gadkari has never shown that, at least superficially, he has been very friendly with the Muslims. And he gets a lot of his vote. The maximum surplus that he gets in terms of votes is from East Nagpur. So he is likely to be the loser in this whole Hindu-Muslim binary that is being played out in East Nagpur. So that could be one of the aspects. See, Praveen Datke, who is a member of Legislative Assembly, who is the MLA from that East Nagpur, he has given a very interesting reaction. He says that it is a failure of the police. The police failed to gather any intelligence about what the groups from outside who were imported into Sri were going to do. So he is blaming the Home Ministry for that. So in a way, indirectly, he is also targeting Devendra Fadnavis. So there is
No,
a
but
lot of
Vivek,
internal
if I
strife
may
also
just
going on
interrupt you,
within the BJP. Yeah.
Vivek, if I may just interrupt you, who were these outsiders? Were they people from Bajrang
No,
Dal?
no,
Were they people from
nobody
Vishwa?
knows. Nobody. No, no, no. That is that case allegation. Whether those outsiders have come. No, no. He's pointing towards the Muslims. He's definitely not
Right,
saying it about Bajrang Dal, because that case a BJP guy, na. So he will not blame the Bajrang Dal or Vishwa Hindu Parishad. What he's saying is he is indicating that some Muslims have been imported out from outside the city and they have created the trouble. So there is
right,
some internal politics also being played out in this whole drama in Nagpur. And the
right.
long-term thing is Devendra Fadnavis is eyeing the 2029 general elections, and a section of the RSS is behind him. They want to project him as the prime minister candidate. And in BJP, there is this competitive communalism where you need to be seen as the biggest rabble rouser against the Muslims, because that is something which is most rewarding in the BJP. And Devendra Fadnavis, who was very urban, very suave till first 5 years, suddenly became very vitriolic, suddenly became very communal after 5 years in seat of power, and now he is almost competing with the worst of the BJP's rebel rousers. So 2029, the Prime Minister's post, I think there is that angle also to this whole drama. So there are a lot of strands in this story, a lot of
Right.
interconnected issues, Nilu.
In fact, I just want to go back to Jaideep for a moment and then I'll come back to Pushpraj. Jaideep, Devendra Fadnavis also hinted at a conspiracy. He said that there was a trolley full of stones. Now, how on earth these stones came in where probably, they were used for attacking. Now, what does that point out? I mean, what does it go to show?
See,
If he's hinting
based
at a
on
conspiracy, is he going to blame the
based
Muslims?
I think it's a pity. I feel very sorry for the chief minister in the sense that, if you recollect his 96 to 2009 tenure, I think he will never be able to go back to that suave, very studious kind of a legislator that he projected himself as. Look, the sources or those who have reported on the event yesterday or incident yesterday, the stones and the boulders or whatever, they were picked up by the police and kept in a trolley. They were the stones and boulders that were hurled from both the sides. Those were collected and kept in the trolley. As chief minister is also the home head of the home department, and he is saying this in the house today, which is a very sorry thing, and he'll go scot free because of the very lackluster or poor opposition that we have in the house today. So anyway, but the thing is, uh, fact remains that they are hell bent on pitching this as a Hindu-Muslim binary, and there is a economic context to it, Neeluji. One is we have to understand Maharashtra is really bleeding from on the economic front. There is an agrarian distress. There is agrarian distress that is deepening. It is causing a lot of social alarm. There are there are millions of kids who are finding it very difficult in the countryside and in the urban poor sections to find kind of soulmates or get married. There is a huge economic distress resulting out of job losses and lack of employment. Maharashtra has always been an in-migration state, but we are showing signs that Maharashtra is now becoming an out-migration state. So last 10 years, this state has gone from bad to worse and further worse. What do you do? There's nothing for this government to show in terms of economic gains. There are companies that are leaving Pune. Bombay is in turmoil. Administration, it's been 4 years that we haven't had the local body elections. So almost all the local bodies, the Zilla Parishads, the municipal corporations, the municipalities are being run on liquidators and administrators from this. There is shortage of funds. You are not able to fund the social welfare thing. So all in all, when you have nothing to show up on the on the front of governance, on economy, on social issues, I think this comes as a very handy distraction, and which is very sad because last year I was hoping that Maharashtra, being on the edge, doesn't join the Bimaru states or doesn't join the laboratory that the BJP has made in many states, whatever their politics.
Right.
But it seems to me that my hope against the hope is proving to be wrong. We are increasingly becoming a kind of what those laboratories look like. And the thing is, it's even more bizarre because Nagpur doesn't have a Maratha population. So the Shivaji, kind of we don't have. I mean, as you see in Pune or in Western Maharashtra, Nagpur has a very different socio-cultural background. This was a Rajdhani of the Gonds, which was then later captured by the Bhosles. Of course, a different, different lineage altogether. And then in the British Raj also, this remained the most cosmopolitan and a cross-cultural city. I mean, my current book, which I'm working on, I'm finding it increasingly. The first mayors and the first people who became the municipal heads they were Muslims and Hindus both. There were four wards. Two Muslims came and two Hindus came into the this thing. And as I said, last 100 years, barring the 1991 hitch when after the demolition of Babri Masjid, there was tension, but there was no communal hatred. A few days from now, Ram Navami comes. Ram Navami, Nagpur has a very old tradition where the Ram Navami Shobha Yatra is taken out. The first
Right.
stop of that Ram of Shobha Yatra is in Mominpura. It's the Muslim-dominated area where the Muslims welcome this procession by
Right.
releasing pigeons.
No, in
This is
fact,
even more bizarre that the VHP wanted to go ahead with this burning
no,
of
but
the
as
effigy
far
of
as Ram
Aurangzeb.
Navami is concerned, you mentioned about Ram Navami. Ram Navami shares similar sentiments across the country, and in many parts of the country, in fact, there are processions taken out. But I'll come back to the point where you said that there are several ailing issues. As far as Maharashtra is concerned, and this could be a diversionary tactics. I'll come to Pushparaj. Pushparaj, how do you see this controversy around this Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb? Uh, w- uh, would it just be giving an escape route to the opposition, saying that it's a diversionary tactics, or you read something more beyond the caste and the communal polarization which is attached to this story?
Hi Niluji, a very good evening to you, my fellow panelists Jaideep ji and Vivek ji, and of course our viewers. See, firstly, it has become standard operating procedure for the BJP to fall back on Mughal emperors and attacking minority structures to enhance sagging political capital. Whether it was the demolition of the Babri Masjid or before 24 elections Gyan Vapi Mosque, or in Kolhapur the Vishalgarh Mosque, or whether it was Tipu Sultan, the arrest made after Tipu Sultan, and now Aurangzeb's tomb. The BJP systematically rakes up some minority-related symbol to divert attention from pressing economic and development issues. I completely agree with you on that. Now, the reason why this particular issue is being raked up now is because the BJP is diverting deliberately from Maharashtra's real problems, which is what anyone who sees the economic survey and the budget will clearly come to that conclusion. Now, the fact of the matter is that 8 farmers have died by suicide in Maharashtra every day for the last 52 months. 52 months. 2.45 lakh jobs, government jobs, remain vacant. The state's debt, Vivek ji and Jaideep ji can correct me, the state's debt is something around 7.8 lakh crores and the annual budget is 7.2 lakh crores. I mean, imagine the debt is more than our annual budget. The standard of education in government schools and conditions in hospitals, government hospitals, is pathetic. The per capita income of 14 districts in Maharashtra is less than the average per capita income of India. And under BJP, in the last few years, Maharashtra is number one in eve teasing and stalking, third highest in rape cases in the country, and second highest in assault. Similarly, I think both Jaideep ji and Vivek ji alluded to this. The BJP twin engine governments at the center and the state are systematically accelerating Maharashtra's decline. For example, I'll just give you two examples. The IFSC authority is being shifted away from from Maharashtra to Gujarat, even though Maharashtra's share in India's banking deposits is nearly 23%, is 22.8 or 22.9%, but Gujarat is only 5.4%. Yet IFSC authority is being shifted from Maharashtra to Gujarat. Similarly, we lost 1 lakh crores of projects, whether it was Tata Airbus projects, the Foxconn project, Vedanta Foxconn project, whether it was the medical park, all of these. I mean, we are losing this to Gujarat. And economically, while the world, I mean, China and US are talking about AI, digital currency, a whole range of other issues, BJP is talking about 300-year-old structures and Aurangzeb and Tipu Sultan. I mean, BJP really needs to make up its mind whether they want to take India and Maharashtra forwards or backwards. Because frankly, what the BJP is doing in Maharashtra is recreating a Babri-like situation. And this is literally walking distance. I mean, both anyone who's from Maharashtra will attest to this. Aurangzeb's tomb is literally walking distance from Ellora, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, as well as the Kailash Nath Mandir. Now, are these the brand ambassadors for Incredible India? And is this BJP's new India? Frankly, I mean, I completely frankly, what the BJP promised India is the Gujarat model, and I completely agree with all the problems with the Gujarat model. I'm not problematizing that, but what they promised India was the Gujarat model. What they are delivering India is the Manipur model. Now, Maharashtra, I agree with Vivek ji. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, he also holds the Home Department. He's blaming the Chhavaa picture for communal violence that broke out in Nagpur. Now, what are you sitting in government for? The CM and Home Minister himself sparked this because it is he who was actually started talking about the demolition of the masjid. And then he's, of course, failing to maintain law and order. And I'm not saying this. The BJP's own MLA from East Nagpur is saying this. I think Vivek ji alluded to this also. And they can't really blame Chhavaa now because it is BJP leaders like Nilesh Rane, Navneet Rana, the Telangana MLA, what's his name, that Raja, T. Raja. They are the ones who vitiated the atmosphere by making communal and hateful remarks. And this is not the only time. I disagree with Jaideep ji because before the elections in Maharashtra, in Western Maharashtra, there were multiple communal instances. In Kolhapur, I think there were 2 or 3 instances that happened. Now, this is in Maharashtra. Everyone will agree to this, which is home to the most progressive traditions, not just of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, but also Sant Tukaram, Rajeshri Shahu Maharaj, Mahatma Phule, Baba Saheb Ambedkar, I mean Savitri Bai, Govind Pansare, Hamid Dalwai, Narendra Dhabolkar. All of these have been from Maharashtra. And mind you,
if I'm interrupting you,
just 1 minute. I want to make this one point. Actually, just 2 small points. One is India parties really have to take a stand together. The Congress is, but I think all India parties in Maharashtra, because you can't pander to Hindutva and then claim that Hindutva's most extremist elements are disrupting the state's progressive traditions. It doesn't go together. You're either with the constitution and constitutional values or you're against it. That's the first point. And the last point, just last December, I think it was 23rd or 22nd December in 2024, RSS Supremo, Sarsanchalak Mohan Bhagwat said he openly made a call for communal harmony, unity. And then he urged the hardline that not to attack Muslim structures, don't look for shivlings under every masjid, so on and so forth. Now, this is exactly what the VHP and Bajrang Dal and BJP are doing. I mean, the RSS in Nagpur needs to ask themselves, is this their idea of Ram Rajya? And is this how little Mohan Bhagwat's word carries in the Sangh Parivar? Back to you, Neeluji.
Pushparaj, what I wanted to ask you was that do you see a bigger program of the BJP, which could be a conspiracy to whip up the communal passions or turn Maharashtra into another communal cauldron? And if I may just extend it a little, what we've seen happening in Madhya Pradesh, what we've seen happening in Gujarat, say for that matter, they were all turned into Hindutva labs. Is Maharashtra the next turn for becoming the Hindutva lab?
See, Neeluji, for those unfamiliar with Maharashtra's history, Maharashtra is tradition to the 3 great political cultural traditions of India: the CPIM, the Congress, and the Sangh. All 3 were born in Maharashtra. It's not like this stream of thought has not existed in Maharashtra as well as India. In a sense, Maharashtra has just been the front runner for all these. I mean, the Congress was born here, CPIM was born here, as well as the Sangh was born here. So it's not that it doesn't exist. So I wouldn't say that this is now becoming the cauldron. In fact, India caught up to Maharashtra in that sense. But this particular conservative and hardline faction has always been at the fringes. It is becoming mainstream right now because of the BJP in government. As Jaideep ji rightly said, 91-92 was the first time when they actually, as they say in Hindi, Chingari mein aag laga di. That's the first time that happened. This time they're doing it, as Vivek ji said, it might be because the Chief Minister has prime ministerial ambitions, and this might be his eligibility criteria to pander to the extremist elements in the Sangh Parivar. It could be that. I personally feel, and I mean, none of us know what the BJP and the CM are thinking. We're all speculating. I personally think it's because of the local body elections. For the last 6 years, they have been sitting on they have literally appropriated 27 municipal corporations as 1.32 lakh crores budget. You are basically ruling by fiat. You have become this new sultan. And I say this advisedly, you have become this new sultan, and the Fadnavis is the new sultan of Maharashtra. He's running these 27 municipal corporations by fiat. Now, the fact of the matter is, obviously, they need to, because they are violating the constitution. So, obviously, they need to announce elections sooner or later. So, first, they're vitiating the atmosphere across Maharashtra, and perhaps that is when they will announce it. Then they do delimitation, gerrymander the state according, just like Assam, what they did, so that there is no constituency like East Nagpur anywhere in the state where there is a Muslim population in majority. And then that's it. That's how they'll try to win the municipalities, the Zilla Panchayats and the Panchayats. This is my estimation. I don't know. I'd like to hear from Jaideep ji and Vivek ji also.
No, I just wanted to clarify one thing, Neeluji. Sorry, it's not the East Nagpur constituency; it's the Central Nagpur constituency. So just the clarification.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll come to Vivek now for the concluding comments. What would you really say to this entire controversy, Vivek? Very briefly. Yeah.
Yeah, Nilu, I think your question you asked Pushparaj was very relevant. Of course, they do want to make Maharashtra the new laboratory of Hindutva. This project has been going on over the last 2 3 years. You remember all those rallies which were being taken out by something called Sakal Hindu Samaj or something. I mean, they created a forum for that, and there were some rabble-rousing sons who were addressing these rallies across Maharashtra. And they also had this fellow from Telangana, D. Raja. So he was also giving those speeches in Maharashtra. So they have been experimenting with Hindutva, very rabble-rousing, violent Hindutva in Maharashtra. It's because of the typical socio-economic background of Maharashtra, the progressive social movements in Maharashtra, that they have not been able to get foothold. As I said, for 100 years, RSS has been in Nagpur. But for 90 years, they did not get any foothold. For 90 years, it was the Congress stronghold, except for one occasion when Banwarlal Purohit was elected as BJP MP, where, when that Ram Janmabhoomi movement was going on. So for 90 years almost, it was a Congress bastion, despite RSS being born here. And RSS made waves in the Gobar Patti, as we say, in the Hindi belt, much before they actually got some foothold in Nagpur. So they, in Maharashtra, they have been finding it very difficult to run with the Hindutva, and their attempt has been to kind of spread this poison as far as possible, because once you communalize the whole population, then it becomes very easy for them. Maharashtra has been one of the states where they are finding it very difficult. Even now, despite so many manipulations that have been alleged in this election, they have not been able to muster the majority on their own. They have to run the government with the alliance partners. They have got 134 seats, that's fine, but they have not got majority on their own, as they have got in many North Indian states. So for them, it's still a very difficult bastion to win on their own. And that's why they want to intensify this project of Hindutva in Maharashtra. And this is one of their attempts. What has been going on in the name of this Aurangzeb tomb is one of the attempts to do that.
Right.
So this will go on, I think, for many years now. This is not going to stop unless the people throw them out. But
Absolutely.
whether that will happen, nobody knows.
Yeah, and just a short while back, you rightly pointed out that there are multiple strands to this Aurangzeb controversy. But what individually I find very hilarious is that the central government tells you it banishes Babur, it banishes Aurangzeb from the history books, but they'll never refrain from using it for politics, for whipping up emotions. And that's exactly what is playing out in Maharashtra. So the Maharashtra waters are really muddied with this Aurangzeb politics around it. I'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Jaideep Hardikar, Vivek Deshpande, Pushpraj. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.